Recording. Hey, everybody. How's the light look? Is the exposure correct?
It's a little bright.
Sometimes when we have the black background, it overcompensates.
It does that.
I was going to say, I bet this tea is ready. I see that you have already put some in your cup.
Indeed I have.
But it's not as bad as it was the last time when we had to correct.
That's good. We're getting the hang of it, huh?
We're getting there.
Yeah. So did anybody taste their tea yet? Did anybody see
I've had a small sip.
the fine smoky flavor? Let's see, what does our audio sound like? I'm promised that we have both channels. Ha. Now, let me see. My wonderful host's mic. Now, I'm going to recommend at this point that y'all folks bring that other mic back there and put it about where the big coffee pot is, so that it'll be the mic for y'all, and y'all be talking, and I'll get a fixation on the sound.
Okay, so then before you were doing bagels, what were you doing?
Oh, I've done the whole just bounce from job to job thing in Asheville. So before that, I worked at Greenlight for a while.
Oh yeah, we sound good now. We're wonderful.
Are we wonderful?
Mm-hmm. Some of us are. Yeah, we're so wonderful. I have in my pocket. Let me tell you what I have in my pocket. I have that right there. And what that is did you see the show last night? Last night after my show and after I got out of here, and while I was teaching the class and couldn't watch the show, so I recorded it. Richard and Randini did a show. And Richard and Randini both came and got on my show,
Before doing their show.
They came on my show, plugged theirs a little bit, and said, discussed just a little bit about what the topic of conversation was going to be. Richard told me, he says, there's been a case of desecrating of the flag over, I want to say West Asheville, but it's not West. It was, he said like the neighborhood. There's been a flag desecration.
Of what nature?
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, what, somebody burned a flag or something?
Yeah, they hung the flag upside down to show that America's in distress.
That's what it was. You know about it, don't you? So anyway,
that's all they did.
That's what you're supposed to do with your stamps.
There's more.
Stamps
Okay,
put your stamps on your letters upside down to show that you think America is in distress.
All right. So he says this issue of the desecration of the flag, and I thought,
how about the issue of health care? How about the issue of gas prices?
He said they talked to the couple who put it out, and I thought, oh well, now a couple had put a flag out, and maybe some punks had come by and like burned their flag or something, or no. He said they put it out upside down, and they pinned a photograph of George Bush on it, and put some kind of an X or a bullseye or some such thing on it, and that was sheer desecration. And he said the last time that we had an incident of flag desecration. Now this is let me tell you now, this is off. What is the show? This is Buncombe Speak, I think is the name of it. Buncombe County Issues, Buncombe Speaks, and that comes on Thursday night. Next Thursday night it's going to come on because our class starts at 7:30. We go on the air at 8:30, so they're going to run from 7:30 to 8:30 next week, and I have to tell that because that's going to be a little time shift there for them. But anyway, he says, the last time that we had an issue of desecration of a flag, he said there was an officer lost his life. And I was like, now are you telling me that an upside down flag has killed a policeman? No, he says, I didn't say that the upside down flag had killed the policeman, but that the policeman had gotten a call to a house with a domestic dispute, and when they got there, they noticed in the yard there was an upside down flag.
That might have been the poor woman who was being abused, trying to give somebody a message
Well-
that she was in distress.
Well, for
That's
what?
an internationally known distress line.
That's right. And for whatever reason, I believe they rushed the house. And in the process, one of the policemen lost his life.
Did he have a wreck or what?
No, I think
No,
he
okay.
got shot.
Did they rush the house
The guy
because of
shot
what
him.
was going on inside, or some sort of craziness such there, or did they rush the house
Well,
because they
it's a
saw
lot
the
of
upside down
officers
flag?
get
You'll have
killed
to
in
ask them
domestic
that.
disturbances.
I
So
don't.
that
I don't
have
really know,
anything
but
to
I
do
think
with the
because
flag.
of I think they brought. I think I think for a normal domestic violence thing that I don't think they normally rush houses on that, do they?
They have been known
But-
to rush houses in domestic
For anything, yeah. So I
cases
don't. So
whenever,
the
like,
answer,
there's
the
some
truth,
sort of hysteria going on, and
Right.
maybe somebody wielding a weapon.
right?
they've been known.
The true answer is I do not know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, I expected to hear him bring that story up on his show then later, but he did not. But they did bring up the flag desecration, and it's he and Randini. And Randini had done his homework, and he had looked up on the internet the laws governing how a flag is to be handled and treated and what have you, and da 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 da. And all I can say is that all I was really wanting to say, and I have it here on because I recorded a DVD, and then after my class last night, I took this over to a friend's house and we watched it, and I recommend it.
Well, can I take it home tonight and look at it and bring it
I
back?
suppose. Now that's
Good.
some hot stuff there.
Okay, so what's so hot about
All right, it starts out with the Green Radio Bistro because I had to start.
Yeah,
it.
because I'd like to see some of that too.
Okay, well, let's watch the Bistro too then.
Okay,
But
'cause
I
I've never seen
I had
it.
to start it ahead of time and go do my class, and I just
yeah,
left it
gotcha.
running. Okay, but if you want to watch the Bistro, watch that. But then be sure and watch Bunkum Speaks, which played on its usual time last night from 8 o'clock to 9. But this week it's going to play from 7:30 to 8:30. Am I telling that right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, from 7:30 to 8:30. And then from 8:30 to 9 we're going to do our live show. And I have to tell Jen that. Jen, did you hear that? Like nobody here listens to the show, so nobody knows what we say. Would you pass?
We could use that to our advantage.
Would you
sometimes
pass
they
me
listen.
a spoon, a pink sweetener, and a blue sweetener, please? See, I like the combinations.
See, I like the combination of blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. I like blue and pink. One male, one female. See what I
Blue
mean?
and
Yeah.
pink. Does that give you a nice lavendery kind of sweetness?
It does. It does. How is the tea? Did it steep enough to have its smoky flavor?
I'm still drinking my green tea.
It's kind of smoky.
Is it a little smoky?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Alrighty
Now,
then.
what?
So, what was so special about it that you think that it's worthy of reviewing?
I don't want. I really
You don't want to give away the.
No. I just have to say that we enjoyed watching it, and I hope that you will too.
Okay.
And I hope that all of you will enjoy watching Bunkum Speak every Thursday at its usual time from 8 to 9, and this Thursday from 7:30 to 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
Because it at least I found it to be very, very entertaining and informative. And Martha, I went over and I listened to it at Martha's house. Now Martha usually listens to Coast to Coast. Do you know that radio show? And we did a lot of watching this instead of listening to Coast, and I believe she was about to decide that this show was better than Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast is on the radio?
Yeah, talk radio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
They talk about UFOs and things, and I stole some muffins.
Well, I personally have an extremely high opinion of most things that come from your TV.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I say hell yeah.
Could you put that into the little pot? Ooh.
Yes.
And whatever's left, put it in the big pot if there's some left over. I have some crumpled muffins. I kind of doubt anybody else wants mashed muffins.
It's a banana nut, huh?
They came from the video camp. The kids at video camp did their final presentation yesterday.
Somebody said that was great, the one that they did yesterday. I think Pat said that. They were great.
I've seen one of them, and I've heard nothing but good stuff.
Did you see the first one?
I saw, the Barney one. Which
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That was great.
Right on.
Had a little edge to it.
Yes, it did.
I like that.
Yes. I wholeheartedly encourage the little buggers to go with it.
Yep.
I want to show this off because this is a great cover, though. This week's Asheville Tribune. You can't really see it here, but here's Brother Christopher addressing City Council through his puppet in this picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'll hold it up to the camera in a minute.
Brother Christopher looks a little ragged around the edges.
He is. He is. Now, there's no doubt about that. We tell it like it is around here, don't we? Oh, there it is. That's a good one.
When you said, "Oh, there
I'm
it
gonna
is,"
beat your butt.
as soon as you said that, I knew it was coming.
Well, not her. She was focused in on Brother Christopher.
I'm never
Ready.
ready for that thing.
Who could be?
See, now last week when Richard was here, he was talking about having that database that they built up with all the signatures for the people who were against the partisan
Elections.
thing.
Right. I think they need to make the elections nonpartisan across the board.
Well, I'm confused. Nonpartisan or partisan? Which one is the what they're trying to do?
Well, okay, the city council is trying to make them partisan elections. So it means that you need to be
Affiliated.
you need to have your party's
You need to be Democrat or Republican.
yeah, you have to do the Democrat or Republican primary and be representative of that. If you're a third party, then you have to present thousands of signatures on a document, And because they changed the rule at the last minute, it really made it extremely difficult for anybody to get their thousands of signatures. Someone would just have to work at it full time, just to come up with thousands of signatures in a couple of weeks or something, So, but there's all that political stuff coming into play. I'll have to say that it would probably be primarily Democrats that are in office now in that position and want to hold on to that position, their positions, and that's probably a good thing. The Republicans probably figure that if enough third-party candidates run, that they'll pull enough votes away from some of the Democrats, that some third-party candidates might have a chance. Chief Wasasi, would you please join us? Here's, yeah.
You're mighty big.
Pull
I
it
have
over,
to say
get that
that.
other cup over there.
It's a big guy.
Yes. How?
Oh.
Ugh. Yeah, have some tea.
Smells good.
It is good. It has a smoky flavor to it. It's probably pretty hot.
In case you haven't noticed, a big hairy Indian just walked in and sat down.
I am Chief Running Gag.
Running gag. I got you. Thought you might be. I didn't know. I was just guessing at the Wasasi. You know what I mean? Ad lib, whatever.
Are those feathers hanging down tickling you?
Just a little. So, two peanuts are walking down the road.
Okay.
One is assaulted. The other is roasted for the assault.
You'll have to Get another chair. I grabbed your cup. Have you met Chief Running Gag?
I have, as a matter of fact, yes.
Okay.
How goes it, Chief?
Quite well. Quite well.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you again. How's the missus?
Very well, thank you. Okay. Do you have another one for us, Chief?
So, a mad scientist makes a clone of himself. This clone is perfect in every way, except for his language is very foul. The mad scientist pleads and pleads, stop cursing so much, you're giving me a bad name. My colleagues do not respect me as much. But the clone will not stop. So one day, the mad scientist brings him to the top of the roof of the tallest building and pushes him off. The very next day, he was arrested for making an obscene clone fall. That really gets them at the lodge.
I'll bet it.
That's one
And
of
it
his
was
classics.
a mad scientist joke. You get
It was.
big points for mad
Yeah.
scientist jokes.
That was for you and your tea party.
Mad scientist joke. And we were discussing earlier about it's always good to keep your day job. There's always good to have something to fall back on. Myself, I do that. By profession, I'm a madman, but I'm also a scientist. See, so I have two.
So you have a profession to fall back on too.
Scientist.
Besides being a professional madman, as your vocation, you can fall back on being a scientist. All right. I love that. That's diverse.
City's good. So, Chief, what brings you here today?
I was hunting the wild beaver.
Oh yeah. Did you find
Yes.
one?
No, too many people downtown. Too many people downtown scare away all beaver. Also, beer very expensive.
Parking too.
I do not understand this Bell's share. I had to pay $5 to park my horse for a simple 30-minute jaunt. It's not fair.
You can blame city council.
Many people do.
We all blame city council.
Blame our fearless leaders. Maybe we could attack them.
You have
Scalp them.
another
Personally, I'm a
joke.
big fan of blaming George Bush,
Another.
but-
Yo.
I have quite a few jokes that really get them at the teepees and the lodge.
I was thinking maybe whenever one comes to you, just break in and let it rip.
Okay.
Break into jokes.
Have
Just
you
break
said
into
George
gags.
Bush one yet?
Have not told a George Bush joke yet, but Running with Water loves this one George Bush joke.
Okay.
Okay.
George Bush is asleep in his teepee one night, and suddenly he hears something rustling at the foot of his bed. He looks up, and there's the ghost of George Washington. Very great white man, but indeed great white man. George Bush says, "Mr. Washington, I was named after you. Can you give me any advice on making this country of ours a better place?" George Washington tells George Bush, "Do not tell a lie." And then he vanishes. And George Bush says, "Oh, that'll be a tough one, but I'll give it a try." The entire next day, he tells not a single lie. He goes back to sleep the second night. He wakes up, and there at the foot of the bed is Thomas Jefferson, another great white man. George Bush says, "Mr. Jefferson, can you give me any advice on making our country a better place?" And Mr. Jefferson says, "Take more power away from the government, give more back to the people." George Bush says this will also be difficult, but the next day he attempts and slightly succeeds. The third night he is as giddy as a young chief on the hunt for a beaver. He awakens, and there at the foot of his bed,
For a beaver or beaver?
for a beaver, their pelts are very prized in these parts.
Mm-hmm.
And there at the foot of his bed is the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. He says, Mr. Lincoln, can you tell me anything to make this country a better place?" And Mr. Lincoln thinks about it and strokes his white man's beard and says, "Go see a play."
All right.
I'm sorry. I hear the call of my people. I must be leaving.
Oh, don't. you very much.
Thank you.
Call of the Wild.
So was that random?
Oh yeah. How you like that? Good.
I liked it.
Yes. Chief running gag.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We'll have to have the chief back. We'll have to have the chief back some more. I hope the chief drops back in.
Chief
Humorous.
running with his gags. He ran in and then he ran out.
All right, Chief.
That's true. He ran in, told us a few gags, and then he ran out.
Now you might want to swap back to your other position for the sake of the little mic there. I don't know if. Oh my, yes. Chief Running Gag. Boy, I hope Chief Running Gag comes back. I was sitting here listening to a buzz and realized it was the burner over there. Every now and then it gets a crazy notion and wants to buzz.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is sit it in a different position or something, hope it doesn't fall. Is it buzzing again?
I can't.
It's
hear
better. It's better. Okay, I can turn the.
So had you two met the chief before?
We just ran into one another. Do you have a story on that?
Hmm?
Do you have a story on that? How did you met the chief before?
The chief and I have done much hardship together. We've been through a lot.
Oh, have you much
Yes.
mischief and hardship both, or just all
More
hardship?
hardship than mischief.
All hardship. You and the chief in hardship. My goodness.
Perseverance.
I see. I see. Well, he's been pretty good when we like the chief.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I'm certainly glad he dropped in. And I'm sorry he had to leave so soon. aren't
Yeah, no
you?
kidding. No kidding.
Was that a surprise to you? You didn't know the chief was here?
I knew the chief was here.
Okay.
The chief's people are right down in the hall.
But you just
Right
didn't
next
know
door.
he was going to come run in?
I did not know that the chief was going to just pop in like that.
I see.
No. I was in the control room watching them doing what they were doing, looked over, and there was the chief on the monitor. I'm like, ooh, I gotta see this.
Right.
And we have
All right.
other visitors.
Could you fix one of them a
Excuse
chair
me,
there?
folks, but
Please come in.
do y'all know where the Bell Share is?
Looking for the concert.
We're looking for the Bell Share. We want to know if we can park here.
You can. This
We
is
can?
Right
this,
here.
this is the Bellshire
that's
Tea
great.
Party.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
fabulous.
here
That's
you
what
go.
we were looking for.
Would you have a
that'd
cup
be
of tea?
great.
Oh, we'd be honored.
Would you
Please.
fix him a chair there? Move that box to the floor.
Well, thank you for being so inviting.
Add them a chair. Grab the tea. The cheese. I'll grab the
Thank you, sir. Why,
cheese
certainly.
cup and
My pleasure.
if you could, can you make cups and saucers happen? I shall if you. Okay, there's one there and one there. Is yours? Is that a clean cup?
It's clean enough.
Is it clean?
Yes.
Oh, honey,
Okay.
this is so nice. I never knew Asheville would be like this.
Asheville is a very
Try
friendly
that one.
town. We didn't think it'd be like
But
this.
both of them work.
Both of them? We'll go with
And
this one
the
really
little
fast.
green one has cream in it, and the blue one has sugar in it.
Well, this is just delightful. We were actually at a bed and breakfast on Bear Creek Road, and it was.
And how
not
long
just
have you
lovely.
been in Asheville? Is it 24 hours yet?
We came in late last night around 10.
We're staying at the Days Inn on Patton Avenue.
I see. It's a nice place, isn't it?
Oh, it's fabulous. 4-star resort all the way. I mean, the pool they have there is absolutely wonderful. If any of you ever get a chance to visit Asheville, Days Inn on Patton Avenue is definitely the one place you'd want to stay. You know, the
It's
people.
the best free breakfast in town.
It really
Well, you can
is.
get a little local color there.
Oh, it is
You might wanna
amazing. The
move-
Preferage Farm bagels that they have and their Philadelphia cream cheese just really knocks it out of the park. It's absolutely
It's better than Philadelphia, isn't it?
Oh, very much, very much so, very much so. And the beds are so much nicer than at the Grove Park. We've stayed
Oh,
at the Grove
goodness.
Park a number of times and have never really
What
been that
an
satisfied.
overrated hotel that is.
No HBO there. It's disturbing, actually.
Oh.
Do they have wireless?
They do have Wi-Fi. That
Do
was
they?
very convenient.
We don't have a computer, so we're not really sure.
So is this your first spelled
Oh,
share?
my mic is coming.
No, we
That's
come to
what
Bell
it is.
Share
Whoa.
every year. We've been coming since 1989.
1989.
Boy, it's changed, hasn't it?
It
Oh,
is.
yeah, quite
It really
quiet.
has. It really has. You know, but Asheville will always be dear to our hearts.
And where do you come from?
Michigan?
Okay.
Detroit?
Detroit. All the way down here just for Bellshare.
Yeah.
I work in a car factory down there. She work. Where do you work?
I'm a secretary.
The
At
best
the news
secretary.
station.
Did you didn't run into the chief while you were headed this way?
We saw
did you?
him. He was an interesting looking fellow. I
Yeah,
guess
we
he's
thought
a
he was
native
part
of
of the
Asheville.
Belshare.
Yeah,
We thought it was like New Orleans.
a lot of hair for a Native American, didn't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, a little bit. He's
Very, very hairy guy.
Hairy for a Native American, I'd say.
But that's what Belshare's all about, right? Fabulous things. We actually
Let the
stumbled
hair
into the
flare.
beginning. They called it was the pre-Belshare. It was at a Baptist church in Black Mountain. We saw the snake handlers. It was fabulous. We've never seen anything like that in Michigan, you know. But
Right.
very interesting. I think we'll be back for that.
So you're thinking of just one day moving to Asheville, making it permanent.
Have you been looking?
Well, we were looking for a summertime cabin up here.
Hendersonville was nice, but not Asheville. You know, in
it's not.
Hendersonville, all they have is the gag order for entertainment. In Nashville, you have the Feral Chihuahuas, just some really fantastic
yeah.
comedy here. So
We
that's
saw them a couple weeks ago. That was fantastic.
excellent.
Really? And where would the Feral Chihuahuas be showing here locally?
Wasn't it at 35 Below?
35 Below Theater, located underneath Asheville Community Theater on
Oh,
East
yeah.
Walnut Street, I believe. Fabulous show.
They were just a quaint little troupe.
Billy Corrigan was there as a musical guest one time. It was excellent.
When he was in town, they just stopped by. Sad thing, he was assaulted though.
It was too bad.
By the cast?
By me, actually.
Just
yes.
some random guy. Was it you?
It was me. I actually got out of the crowd and dashed into the pumpkin, but it's irony for you.
Are pumpkins good for smashing people?
I believe so, but really a zucchini or a squash, you can get more momentum with it. And it's more like a
This is
Philly
true.
club. Yeah, so.
It's smaller.
If you're throwing some sort of a squash type, what is there a name for squash?
The squash toss?
You have a little bit less resistance on the squash than on the pumpkin.
Also, you really can't conceal a pumpkin very effectively.
Very true. Very true.
As a pumpkin as a concealed weapon is not an easy thing to
It's
pull
not,
out.
I don't think so.
Definitely not.
I mean, I'm sure there are a few that could do it, but
Yes.
Well, you know, there's a trend now for big booties. So girls, instead of having some booty back there, you could stick a couple pumpkins back there.
Oh yeah.
That would do it.
And when you sit down, you smash them.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Delicious, delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Her pumpkin
Pumpkin
pie is
pie.
absolutely amazing.
I
have a
bet
secret. The secret's
I bet
not
it's
bad.
got special flavor if you sat down on it and smushed it.
Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Yes.
butt
It's quite
smushed
delicious.
pumpkin pie.
Fabulous.
I can just see that on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Butt smush
Yeah.
pumpkin.
That sounds fantastic.
Maybe you should whip us up a batch
I could.
after this tea, perhaps.
Excellent tea, though. Thank
Yeah,
you very
thank you
much
very
for
much,
inviting.
sir.
What an excellent addition to the Belshare.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite lovely.
And we
And I
film
thought I
it
was getting away from
to
it.
broadcast to the people,
Mm-hmm.
so they can participate in it if they're not able to be here.
Very much so.
So they get a taste of it.
Yes. And everybody at home, if you're watching us, I assume that you are not attending Belshare.
That's
It
why
is-
we have a viewership of 13.
Is
On
that
the
our
other hand,
official
I've heard
number now?
rumbles, and it looks rather slightly overcast out the window, so I'm going to say that those who have chosen to attend Belshare are very shortly going to get rained on.
I know. How would you like to be able to go out after the show, go out and see 2,000 drowned Belshare rats?
Hordes of people running their cars.
Just
At
all-
least we're
Soaking
parked up
wet.
here.
Soaking wet.
A couple of drunks crawling, you know. Hey, out of the rain, man.
So is 13 our official number?
I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good turnout for a public access show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It could either be really invigorating or really demoralizing if there was a number up in the corner that told you how many viewers you actually had at the moment.
And you could watch it going down and up. That'd be
How
great.
about that?
Or you could say something off color and watch it go down. I actually checked my email. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday or something like that? I got a piece of fan mail, and so I knew I had arrived
Oh, how about
You
that?
got fan mail.
I got
Was
fan
that your
mail.
first fan mail?
on my email account. You know.
What'd they say?
But I watch your show. I love your show.
That's just spiffy.
It is a wonderful show.
Have you ever seen the show?
I haven't. You know, we don't get Asheville public access in Michigan.
Why?
You know, I
We
think
have Michigan public access. I'm sure
there's
it
just
bumps
not a
it
demand
out.
for it yet. You know, it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
It's
There's,
going to happen.
there's a live
Asheville
stream on
public
YouTube.
access everywhere.
Oh, of
It's
course.
going to happen.
Wow.